Hi, my name is Hannah Weber, and I'm going to talk about whether we should legalize the sale of human organs. Even thinking about selling human organs presents creepy images of hearts and livers being kept in jars and being sold on the black market to a strange man purchasing them because he is a cannibal or to feed his pet tiger. Most do not picture a man sitting in a hospital dying of kidney failure, unable to get an adequate donator. The debate on whether selling human organs is an interesting and controversial topic. My grandmother is on the heart transplant list after she suffered a major heart attack. The left side of her heart currently functions at only about 15%, which also the left side of your heart is the part of your heart that functions the hardest. It has been very stressful waiting and hoping for an organ to occur to help her out. So this is a topic that I found particularly interesting. Most people know that the transplant lists are overcrowded and most people die while waiting. According to NPR, there are about 75,000 Americans on the waiting list, and only about 18,000 will receive an organ in that year. Discussing organ donating is important so that people will be persuaded to donate when the time comes, and it can help save many people's lives. There are two distinct sides when it comes to legalizing the sale of human organs: those who are for it, believing that it helps save lives, and those who oppose it, believing that it goes against human nature. It is unethical and it is immoral. Those who oppose it, like I had previously just said, believe that it goes against human rights. They believe that it will create a market in which the poor cannot afford to buy an organ because the prices of the organs will just be too steep, which will create an even more unfair medical treatment center. These people do not have health care insurance or have very poor health care insurance. So they're kind of pushed aside, given the cheapest medicines, given the cheapest treatment plans, and then they're left on their own to fight. They don't have any other options. They're already so much in debt that they're just struggling to stay afloat. There's also a thought that people will self-harm and self-sacrifice for the sake of money. So father donating a kidney in order to feed his family, that's just really sad, and unfortunately that just seems very twisted. There's a fear that it can lead to more criminal acts or immoral acts if purchased by the wrong people. People who are for the selling of human organs see it as a great opportunity to save human lives who are dying of organ failure while reimbursing the generous donators for their time and the pain. An average of 18 people die per day while waiting for an organ, according to Clark. This could help these people find a cure faster. Organ selling has been successful in the Philippines. Many argue that if the legalization of human organs does not occur, the only other option that hospitals have is a tactic they use called presumption of consent. This is when a patient dies in the hospital and no friends or family can be contacted to claim the body. The hospital will harvest the person's organs and use them for the transplant victims, those who need or who are on the list, as long as they're correct donors. This obviously occurs far less often than others who are claimed. There is also an argument that we are free to choose our own fate. Many fear that if this does not become legal, there will be no other options for those waiting on the transplant list, which keeps growing at an inadequate pace compared to the list of donors. One interesting article that I read stated that it is already legal to sell sperm, eggs, and even human hair, so why shouldn't we be able to sell our own human organs? This is a very interesting and thought-provoking statement. I'm not entirely sure how I feel about it. I would agree to it to some extent, but I will let you decide how you feel about it. I do not feel that selling human organs is the best way to help those on the transplant list. I think that the repercussions and risks are just too high. I think that selling human organs is a concept that terrifies most Americans. I know personally, when I told my mom and my sister and other family members what I was going to talk about for this speech, they gave me like weird looks. They told me that I was weird. It's just a concept that most Americans are not comfortable with. I think that rephrasing the statement could help gain people's trust a little bit more, maybe. I also think that Americans should be better informed about the importance of becoming an organ donor. You can do this by checking yes on your driver's license, just in case, heaven forbid, an accident were to occur, that your organs would go to people in need. So it would go for a good cause, and giving people a chance to experience life more to the fullest. I also think that there should be more research in lab work. I know currently labs and scientists are working towards growing organs in labs. I know recently they just did an experiment where they constructed and grew an ear on a mouse, and the ear grew, and it was given to a little girl who was in need of an ear transplant. She did gain full auditory range, which I found to be most interesting, and overall it was successful. The ear took, she didn't have any infections or anything strange, so that was very successful, and I hope that we continue to study science more so that victims of organ failure can have that opportunity. In conclusion, the selling of human organs has many good qualities, but it provides many with an opportunity that they would not be presented with if it weren't for the money. On the flip side, it is unfair because many would not be able to afford to purchase the organs themselves. Donating an organ is something that can help increase the lifespan of a dying person, giving them a second shot at spending time with family and friends. What we forget is that there's so many newborn babies on the transplant list waiting for a heart or liver or lungs or anything just because they were born with birth defects, and unfortunately they won't ever get to experience life if they don't receive their transplants. I hope that you have found my topic to be both interesting and thought-provoking, and I hope that you can make your own decision on whether you believe that human organs should be sold. I leave you in the words of Brad Pitt. I felt that this quote was very meaningful and fit my topic perfectly. People in their final moments do not discuss their successes, awards, or what books they wrote, or what they've accomplished. They only talk about their loves and their regrets, and I think that is very telling. Thank you, and have a good day.